So let's start off with what do you feel like saying? Stephanie, you were the first on the call, bright and early. So why don't you start off?
What do I feel like saying? I feel like saying, I'm sorry I wasn't able to do as much work on the avatar as I wanted to do, but moving has taken up more time than I thought. Underestimated, of course, although I will say that we moved quicker than I have in the past, so that was pretty good. And it's good to see everybody. So thank you. Simona, what do you feel like saying?
Thank you, Stephanie. I feel like saying has been very busy time for me, also traveling, and so not as much time as I wanted to put in the avatar, and I didn't take over with the values yet. So still a lot to do, but going forward, that's what I feel like saying. And Annie, what do you feel like saying?
What I feel like saying is just good to see you girls. I feel like I haven't spoken to you in forever, and it's been only like 2 months. So that's so good to see you girls. And I look forward to hearing what's happening. I haven't watched the last video, but I'm sure I catch up. That's what I feel like saying. Mindy, what do you feel like saying?
How about Claudia?
Oh, I'm sorry. Claudia, what do you feel like saying?
But I feel like saying I'm very happy to meet you with you girls. For me, it's like ages without talking about the topics and everything. I know I have been disconnected, but happy to back. This is what I feel like saying. Mindy, what do you feel like saying?
Thank you, Claudia. I'm so happy to see you all, and it's so nice to see that everyone is busy and doing their stuff and growing and moving and going to courses and going back home and making speeches and being keynote speakers. So everyone is really busy, and I appreciate you guys taking the time, whatever time you were able to take during the last 2 weeks to work on this stuff and to be here in today's meeting. And that's what I feel like saying. So we are going to go over today, we're going to go over through the teams, whatever team is showing up, to see what's going on, how we've progressed. But the main focus was to be the avatar, because the avatar is, right now we're at a stage in the development of women leading into the future that we really need to know who she is in order to make the right content. And I think we're doing a lot of little things around there to support it, because things are coming up in this endeavor, which is great. But the main focus is going to be in creating the program, right? Because the main idea is for us to get on stage. In the last call, I'm just going to remind you that the promotion team did come up with a plan. We have a PERT. It's working forward that we're going to be ready to present the 2-day program in May. Okay, so Annie, if you didn't listen to the video, remind me and I'll put the dates. We should put the dates in the group. So there are dates in May, July, I think, and September, just in case, but we're going to be ready in May. So in order for us to work as a team to create the content of the program, the 2-day program, we really, really need to know who the avatar is. So with that, I just want to say, Linda, we see you came in. Hi, are you with us? She's not with us.
Nope.
Okay. Did anyone see her besides me?
Yeah, I saw her, but the picture.
Okay, as I wasn't imagining.
Here she comes.
Here she is again. Let her come in before you guys start. Before you take this on. Linda.
Hello.
Hey.
Hey, ladies. How are you all?
Good morning. How are you?
Good.
Lovely. Great. Thank you.
Good. You want to give a quick, what do you feel like saying before we start going into the...
Sure. What I feel like saying is it's great to see everybody, and I'm happy to be on the call. That's what I feel like saying.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So we're going to talk about the avatar. So perfect. Avatar team.
So can I share this?
Please.
And it's going to be really little, but I just wanted to show it little first, and then we can talk about it. So the questions that we asked were around, the overall was, who is your ideal client? Who do you passionately want to help? who do you enjoy working with? Who have you had the most success with? Who values my contribution and pays for my service with love? And the idea was to think about the avatar from the perspective of the women leading into the future group. So to have that hat on, not necessarily your hat of your own business, but rather as part of this team, as part of this group, have that hat on and then think about who would be your ideal client. So based on that, Simona has highlighted some insights, but I guess just to call out, Mindy, when you mentioned about the avatar, you referred to a she. How does, what does she look like? Or right? And I guess from the feedback, that was still didn't seem to be the consensus.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. So I think part of this job or role in terms of coming up with this avatar is we're just going to have to make some calls.
Yeah. Okay.
Because there are some varying opinions about whether it's female or male, just to start off with, just at that very basic level.
Okay. That's
Simona.
that's already concerning.
So I used what came back is in the sheet now.
Can you make it a little bit
we
bigger,
divided
Stephanie?
them.
Excuse me,
Yeah.
sorry, Simona.
I can make it.
And I highlighted the differences I could see and the characteristics that I could take out.
Uh-huh.
And yes, as Stephanie said, the first thing is that there are few, as you see, there is Taiwan Pao. They talk about men and women.
Okay.
And then to this purpose, I put women. I also work both, and I am not excluding the men from my side, and I don't think neither the others, but I think we need to take a choice, to make a choice here, because it's not possible to market to everybody. Also because our name, Women Leading into the Future, I think it's attracting anyway more women than men. So that's a consideration. I'm not putting anything out. At the moment, it's just taking out what comes out. So first, it's male or female, and the majority, I would say, goes towards women for this purpose. So it's also about being professionals, which come out. So women who work, for sure. So that's another characteristics that come out.
We should clarify, right? Women who work for money. So women who work outside the home, basically,
yes,
is what we're saying. Women who actually are paid in some way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Career type people? Is that what came out? Or doesn't matter?
Sorry, I cannot hear you.
Is it career oriented women? I mean, professional that have a high paying job? Or
no, again, that wasn't a commonality.
Wasn't commonality, okay.
Exactly, because so for example, for me, I was more broad. I didn't say only people in career, so only women in career, because for me, professionals are also, it's people with high skills and high paid jobs normally, eventually, or people who are solopreneurs, like doctors. It could be lawyers working on themselves, or small association, or it could be businesses that come out from these associations.
Okay. I think that's the same thing, though. There's someone who a doctor, lawyer also has a career orientation.
But it doesn't mean that you work for somebody else. Here, the difference I think needs to be done in being incorporate or not being incorporate, because one is an employee oriented, and the other one is entrepreneurial oriented. Okay. So it's a little bit different, but I think we cannot exclude people who have, and that's what I said in mine, it's people with the mind of entrepreneurship, even though they might be in a job at the moment. So an executive or somebody maybe who's thinking differently from someone taking a paycheck. That's a little bit where I saw the difference eventually.
Okay.
And so the comment that I'll make is, when I think about it from the Women Leading to the Future perspective, I was essentially saying women with money who are interested in learning and growing. That's the target. And yet, if I look at who were the people that I've had the most success with, or that came through to me from our online summit, so again, with the Women Leading to the Future hat on, they were all women working in corporate for somebody else.
Oh, really? Wow. Okay.
So that's just to give you like the different,
Yeah.
I guess, bent on those questions with the, WLITF hat on. Because of course, when I do high performance work myself, I have men and women.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I think we all work with both men and women. Actually, everybody of us, I don't think anyone came out with, I work only with women, but we need to choose at this point. And if we go to choose for women, they for sure work. They have the money to pay also the learning, the growing, because they have skills, and they want, what comes out is they want to put it and learn more, and they want to go into personal development, which is often what is missing in these women who have very high skills. So they might have very high skills, whatever their skills are, but they put inside more personal development to make it more powerful. So,
and I guess sorry, Simone, and I was going to say, and the way I characterize that or phrase that is women who want to and are ready for change now.
Yeah.
Because again, they might not know the terminology about personal development.
Yeah.
And again, the people that are successful with the ones, not that just want to make a change and I'm teetering around the edges, but they actually want to make a change now.
Yeah.
And another thing that I want to say too is like, if we just want to focus, could be people that is already successful, but they want to do more, but not necessarily that they have a lot of success, because people that has a lot of success of money, they don't need so they don't need necessarily to be that. So this is what I see, okay? So it's more like the people that they are success in certain way, but they are looking to be more successful or be more inspired or motivated, or people that know the path of personal development and they want to continue that. Because what I realize is some people, some women or men that they already successful is like, I don't need this, right? Or what do you think?
Yeah, that's what comes out from a few of them, is the willingness to serve more people. And I don't think that the word success comes out, because success is personal. You don't know what it means for you. It doesn't mean to me famous. So it's two different things. It's about having a bigger impact on the people that you have around. Whatever, you could be a doctor and wanting to impact more people. You could be a nurse. A nurse can be a very high professional also, or it could be, whatever your skill is, but it's more about having more impact in the society, or having more impact in what you do, impacting more people. So that's something that came out a lot.
1 second, Simona. Claude, I also wanted to say, I think that's a misconception that people who are successful don't need personal development, because I was pretty successful in my work in corporate, but there was a big dissonance between me being happy and me being successful at my job. So there's a lot of people who I think that are look from the outside that they've got everything going, the house, the kids, the job, but don't feel that they are meeting, their capabilities, or don't feel that they're happy. And I think that that's where the dissonance comes up, and we can really work with people.
So maybe, and for sure, Stephanie, you know that, but then maybe something that we can also advertise is like, well, maybe you can, are you sure, something like are you sure you are happy on the way that you are, or are you sure you are developed the best you can do, doing the things that you can do, or something like that, like just address the fact, like, well, you can have the money already, you can have, but are you sure you are happy, or are you sure you develop your high potential, or something like that?
Can I say something here? One thing is to know it, that you need personal development, and one thing is you don't have an idea, but you want to know more about something. Like Stephanie was saying, is more the differentiation about knowing. We cannot say personal development because they still don't know. They just want more.
Change.
And they have this push in going forward, looking for something else. And here, what I've learned in one of the last thing is not using our own words, because here the danger, I think, is we come from the personal word and we know what we're looking for, but we learned it on the way. So that's not what they are looking for, maybe, but we know that's what they need. So here it's about understanding what's the wordings that this kind of avatar is using, and using their wordings to put out our advertisement, our marketing, so that that's what they see, and then we bring them on personal development. So that's a little bit my thinking, because they don't know. They know they want more, that they don't know what.
Can I just say something first? I'd like to
Annie's been trying to get in.
One second, Annie, please. I just want to say that, you know, Simona just did this great course in Austin, Texas with Ryan LeBrand, and look at, she's bring it in right now. It's so apropos for what we're doing now, that you can take all your learnings and use them on us. So give it up for Simona for growing and learning and going all the way to Austin, Texas to advance her skills. Annie, I'm sorry.
What did Simona do?
Simona, you want to tell everyone where you were last week? Week before?
Yeah, I was in Austin, Texas, at the event of Ryan Levesque, the Ask Method, and he uses a lot the surveys. Why? Because it's not about just saying yes or no in a survey, but about asking a question, people respond, and using what's in the response to do all the marketing. Because otherwise we tend to put what we have in our minds to them, but we are in a different stage and we have a different personality maybe from who is in front of us. And we have different personalities in the customers as we have in the salespeople. So the risk is that if I'm a retriever, I'm going to put down anything I'm writing, anything I'm doing as a retriever, but it's not going to attract maybe the other type. So that's a little bit why he uses surveys, is to take out their wordings exactly, and he turns them into benefits. So, and that was very powerful to me.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. I've been following his stuff for a couple of years. He's really brilliant. And Simona actually went and learned from this guy. You're also, Hal Elrod was there, right? Miracle Morning guy.
Yeah, it was Hal. It was the other guy from digital, Ryan Dice.
Oh, Ryan Dice also. You got the big guys.
Yeah, he came in for an hour and a half, a couple hours. And the other guy that was there was Billy Jean, the guy that is doing the videos. And also the young guy who is doing the Facebook now. I got a little bit lost in his talk, I have to say, because I'm not in the advertisement yet for the Facebook, but they gave very high insights, because that's why they use the surveys, is to do advertisement even on Facebook with their own wording, so that it resonates more to the people. Otherwise, we are writing our own mind. That's a little bit what's going on.
So it's really working on this avatar right now is really up your alley. I think you have a lot of special input to give into it. So thank you.
Can I just take 2 minutes? I have to wake up my son, otherwise he's losing school. Just
okay.
How is the course that she went to? It's like another National Achievers or something like that? Or?
No, it was a dedicated course. It was a course, I guess, organized by all of these men together. I thought it was just Ryan Lebrecht. But it was
no,
like
it's Ryan Levesque organizing. It's his own. He doesn't have any promoter behind. It's his own. He promotes himself. He does himself. He had 700 people in the room,
Amazing.
mainly from United States, very few
But
people from Europe.
he bring the others to speak.
He invited the others to speak in his own event. It was a 3 days, and he had all his testimonials also in the event, and he allowed them to speak, to explain their stories. It was very good. For me, it was easy things. There is a system, there is a process. It's not you do this, you do that. No, there is a process every step to bring people to do the marketing online.
Excellent.
So very interesting.
You should do a masterclass, Simona. Fill us in. Give us your notes.
So the thing here is, I think that's what came up from what we wrote. Now, if we think, I think the next step could be to put together the highlights, see what kind of avatar comes out, and then from there, where can we find this kind of people, and then try to search for them. That's a little bit what I would do. So are they in the corporates? What kind of association they get in? What kind of, things they do? And that's the next step on how to find them, and eventually find a way to share the mailing lists or to send out. I mean, the survey, that's the first thing. That's what I saw they use, is to bring in people through the mailing list.
Mm-hmm. And as you're talking,
Sorry?
as you were talking there, Simona, I was just going to say, we could clarify it by that working women. You could say it's middle to high income earners.
Yeah.
And that way you're not really just, not saying corporate, not saying solopreneur, business owner. What you're saying is basically middle to high income earners who want change.
Yeah.
I like that. But what do you guys need from us in order to go on to the next step?
Can I just ask a question first, please?
Please, Linda.
Yes.
Thank you, ladies. Can I ask, just from the people, based on what you just said, Simona, the data that we have from who signed up for the conference, what level of data is that? Because essentially, we've got an audience that has shown up. Can we do some ask survey style with them? And I know we've done a survey. I'm very big on, if someone sends me a survey and they don't respect my time, I'm not going to do it, or I'm not going to do a lot of effort. But is there any way we could maybe use that ask survey? Because we've already got 600 people, majority women, who showed up. If we can mine that data, that tells us our avatar. What industries do they work in? Maybe they'll tell us income levels. I don't know. But how can we get that? Because we've already got a baseline there.
That's the survey we did, Linda.
But is there more that we can do? If you're, and I love Ryan, he's great, and he's constant on all different kinds of specific surveys to get specific information. He doesn't just send one, but there's always a sweetener with the deal as well. There's always other information to mine.
So, to my mind, the 600 people didn't really respond. What I would do is maybe go into the Facebook group that we have and ask the question, and we see who is going to respond. These people took a further step with us and are in the Facebook group. So I think the next step could be first maybe starting by the Facebook group, where we also have kind of 100 new people that came in that were not in the conference. And so, and ask them the survey. We put it there. They give us their thoughts. And then we see how many people respond, how many people do not. And then otherwise we have to go and search outside.
Yeah, other thing that I was thinking, but this is much work, is that maybe we can divide a number of people between us and go and stalk their Facebook to see who they are, but this is more like a research type of thing, that going there and looking for what they do, what is the activities they do, if they have kids, if they are married or they have partners, but it's much work. But at least we will have, I don't know, or we can just random choose the people that answer the questionnaires and also go and find out who are them. This is another way.
It might be a good idea, Claudia, but you have to be the people who answer the questions, because those are the people who are interacting. The people who are interacting, the ones that actually want to hear what we have to say. So that might be a good idea. I would say if we go on that route, to actually, which will take time, to private message the people in the group with the survey.
We use a bot for that? Can we incorporate bots with that?
Yeah, I don't have a bot. Do you have a bot?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's easy enough to. Yeah, I haven't used it ManyChat. I've got it there. But the other thing is, if we talk in what we've got, touch points. So out of those 600 people that tuned in, X amount came to Facebook. How many more? There's nothing to say we can't go back to that email list that we have now and just build that back from cold touching. Getting that information before we ask for something, and doing that, and treating our email list as two separate lists: the ones that went onto Facebook and interacted, the ones that didn't. And
we should do both of them all the time. And we are sending out there is a weekly newsletter going out. So there are touches with it, and people are opening it. Not the biggest percentages in the world, but people are opening it. And statistically, the people who answer the survey is not enough. And we sent out 2 times the survey letter. So I would say to do it again, but I really think, only because it's we don't have a lot of response. It's not very interactive. I do think that we can make up who our avatar is. I mean, we can do that, and we don't have to rely on the data that we have. And I think that with 10 people, it shouldn't be very difficult for us, once we have the avatar, for each one of us to take on 1-2 outreach programs to communicate with someone else who has a tribe, and see if we can, attract people in their list to our list, and do real marketing.
And plus we can refine. We can refine the avatar based on feedback once we get that happening. It's not this is it and that's all it's ever going to be.
But we need a place to start, we need a place to start because we have to create a program. Everything else is going to happen. And because we meet every 2 weeks, things go a little bit slower than they would go in a real business, because all of us, this is our part-time job. And then we meet every 2 weeks to go through it. So it could take a little bit longer to get more people interacting in our lists, in our community, which is as important as promoting, because without a community, we can't get a promoter to promote us. So one feeds into the other, but we need to have something to start with. Yeah, Stephanie, please.
So can I just suggest, in terms of a way forward, is, we tried the survey, we didn't get enough data, and the data was sort of all over the place anyway. We've done a survey of our own team, essentially, to see what the avatar is based on the definition of our own team. Through both sets of data, there's lots of varying different points of view. That's what the purpose of today was, to show that we just still have very varying perspectives. So how about if Simona, Claudia, and I get together, we'll take all of that disparate data and just create the answers to these questions, which is the gender, age, place, the family status. It was basically filling in that straw woman, because that was going to be the next step anyway. But because this data was so disparate, we just wanted to bring that to everybody's attention first.
Just have one question, another question. Who did not, besides Annie, Annie has decided to opt out, and she doesn't want to fill out the form, which is okay. Who else has not filled in a form? Okay,
so you can see there that, so we've got Taiwo, yourself, Claudia, myself, Pao, and Simona.
So that
did you not get the one I sent through to you, Stephanie?
No, I know you said you were going to, but I didn't.
Oh no, I had done when we spoke that same day, and I sent them. Obviously missed it, but I have done it.
Sorry. No.
Okay. Just I didn't mark down the names, but Linda and Hannah, and is there someone else missing?
Karen.
Anyone else?
I've done it. It's just not there.
Okay, so I was putting you in parentheses.
Pao is there.
Pao's there. So that's how many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7, 8, 9. There's one person missing. We're 10, right? Taiwo, Mindy, Simona, Claudia, Stephanie. Oh, Annie. Annie's missing. Okay, so Annie's the 10th. So I would suggest you guys do this. Please reach out in a personal call. Collect Linda's data and reach out with a personal call to Hannah and Karen. Karen might not be able to do it because she's now supporting in Thailand, but at least reach out to them to see if
Anna did it. She said she did it, so she was going to do it. So
right.
She will probably send it out now.
Okay, so let's get their data so that at least we've did the maximum to get what we have here, because we don't have any consensus. Maybe a little bit more data will help with the consensus, and then do your magic. But we need to have something by the next meeting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, Annie wanted to share something.
Okay, Annie, sorry, I didn't see you, sweetie.
Can I?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Okay, so when I started, thank you. When I started with Mindy doing my own stuff, I filled in 2 forms. First, it was a woman, but then I said I want to fill one in for a man, and that's how I ended up doing my avatar. However, I still have my old avatar for women. So I'm happy to what I've wrote there. I'm happy to put into this form if you want to, if it helps, because I did write some stuff. I just pulled out the notes and I started looking at it and listening to what you girls are saying, and I went, oh, I got something here, so I might as well put it in. Ultimately, I'm happy with whoever you go. So, but if this helps, like how I think about the woman, well, I'm happy to do that.
I think it would make sense, Annie, if you believe that that's the female you want to help in this, under this banner.
I found something, and I was listening to what Simona said, and when I opened my booklet, I found this little note that I wrote. And what I said is that it's our responsibility as women to play our role in society and to support the men by educating ourselves in all areas of life: finance, health, relationships, and business. Because I know of women who, after the breakdown of their marriages and death of their husband, had massive difficulties going through this labyrinth of life. So not only we are there to support our counterparts, the men, because it is the law of duality, right? But it means that we empower ourselves, we have our own pride, and we have our own contentment and fulfillment as a human being. So that's what I wrote here. So I don't know if that means anything compared to everything that you girls said, but I just thought I'd put my 2 bobs in.
Thank you, Annie. That's great.
Thank you, Annie. I think you can send it out. We have it there. You have done anyways your avatar, what you think about it, and we will put it in the spreadsheet. That I think that's good.
Excellent. So
thank you, Annie.
Claudia?
Yeah, I want to say something. And this is just reading what I put in there, right? You know that more specific we are, will be much better, okay? And just thinking that we are with, like for example, with Blair, right? A lot of people enroll to train the trainer because experience and because they want to be in front and speak in public, or they want to tell the story. But not everybody will be a speaker, not everybody will be, but they go there to have that experience or to do it, right? So I was thinking, if we focus on people like they want to, like, because we want people that they want to do something for the community or for someone else. If we advertise that all of us, we are presenters, we are coaches, and we will teach them how to do it and focus on that, will be something more specific that try to tell them, to teach them a lot of topics or a lot of things. This is a thought. Because what we can advertise or what we can do is, okay, we want women or men, but basically women, that would like to be more leader in your market. And the way that you are leader is to be presented, is to be involved to the community, and is to be develop your message. So the idea here was like, because if we have a membership and all of that, maybe we also can teach things that we are doing just now. And by the way, we teach you how to be a leader, how to speak in public, or how to be enrolled to the community, but also we will teach you about relationships, image, energy, blah, 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 little boys, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. I just put it in there because it's the way that I see like how we can maybe bring people and be more specific. But I don't know. This is just something that I want.
Thank you, Claudia. I think that's a great next step, because once we do it and we perfect it, yeah, we have then obviously people are going to want to know how we do it, just like it happened with the Chief Harv Eckert and Blair, But I think that at the beginning, and this is just my opinion, you guys will see it in the avatar group what's coming up, but I think in the opinion we have to go broad spectrum to the population, help a regular population, and then help them do what we do. And then that's my feeling. Simona.
What I see from what is happening in this thing of TTT, for example, a lot of people come there because they bought it in the Quantum Leap, not because they choose to be there sometimes. And the other thing is they don't necessarily have money and a business. And that's what's coming up also for Blair when he sees the certification. A lot of people, yes, they want to do, but they have no business. And is that really who we're looking for? That's my question today. I'm not sure. I think it's a next step, maybe, but I would focus more on who we want to serve at the moment. And we are looking for people who, whatever they're doing in their life, they want to be more leaders there, and they want to do more. They want to grow themselves and do more for other people around them, wherever they are, whatever they do. It could be a teacher, it could be whoever. So, and they want to invest in themselves. That's what we are looking for. So how are we going to look for them? That's the other thing we will have to do with the marketing, and write down how we look for these people. And again, I go back to what they want and what we think they need, which are two different things. And at this stage, probably they still don't know what they really need. That's my thought.
I just wanted to add one thing. You can put it in my little note there. When Tony Robbins talks about the 6 basic needs, I think that the need that is going to pop up for these women is probably significance. That they're doing a lot of things, very skilled, but still don't feel that they want more significance. Just in parentheses. Stephanie.
I was just going to say, Claudia, when we talked about this a while ago, and Linda was trying to talk to us and explain to us about that ladder of ascension, that ladder of marketing, or that journey we're going to take our clients on. I think that level is probably not the initial level, but that may be part of that, that ladder or that journey as we start to take people on that. But the initial is just really about the individual. Like, do they themselves, like they feel like they need change so that they can lead their own life, and then, go up that marketing ladder, if you like, or that ladder of ascension in terms of their development.
Can you stop the sharing? Because it's very hard for me. I don't know. I think it's hard to follow if we are so small.
I don't understand.
If we can stop sharing and go back to the vision.
I'm not sharing anything anymore.
Ah, why are you stuck? For me, it's
I think someone had something playing in the background.
No, maybe your screen is stuck. I shut off the sharing a little while ago.
I can still see the sharing. That's why. I'm stuck there.
Well, you were frozen for a little bit, but now we see you talking. You might want to go out and come back in, Simona, maybe. But what I'm going to say, guys, for the avatar group is we really need to focus on doing the next step. If there's something that you need, Linda, and then
Sorry. So can we, so based on what everyone said today, so for you three ladies on our avatar team, based on what you've taken in from us and from the outside audience, can you put together a base start avatar just on your reflections? Otherwise we're going to go around in circles for weeks, and once we start advertising and getting it out, the market's going to tell us if we're right or wrong, and we just adjust as we go. Can we just get it done?
Yeah, agree, Linda. And that's what I was trying to say about next steps. I guess what we wanted to show people first before going ahead and doing that was just that there isn't a sense of consensus at the moment. So we won't be creating something from consensus. We'll basically be creating something so that we can test as we go.
Excellent.
Perfect.
Sounds like everyone in agreement?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so you have a consensus here. Go to work, ladies. But please do speak with Hannah and Linda, and Annie if you want to put something in, and Linda if you can send again what you sent. Then we can see if we can get from here more data to help you with that consensus. Cool? Cool. Let's give it up for the avatar team. Woo! Great work, ladies.
Nice work, team.
Excellent.
You three work well together. It's great.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go on to the next one. Linda, you want to talk a little bit about what's been going on with the webinar team?
Okay, I haven't prepared, but sure. So webinar team, where we're at, I'm going to send a message out to everyone. So far, the schedule hasn't been completed. I think there's only about 3 or 4 people that have completed the schedule. We really need to get that done. Been talking to Steph and Mindy. I'm going to do the one next week for December because it has to get done. And I was saying, based on a conversation Mindy and Steph and I had talking about teams and that, so I'm actually going to focus on, teams and how to get a team and all that. And I love, we're talking about wording before, Simona, and Mindy showed me the event page, and how you worded that, Mindy, is perfect. I love it. So it's just a way of more speaking to the audience language. But we need to get that schedule done. The reason we want to get it done now is, you might not have a webinar for 6 months or 8 months or 12 months, but our team needs to get that prepped now so we can move on to our next projects. We talked about Jason Everett. So Jason, in the level 2 portal, and Mindy has shared that, and we can share it again in the group. There's a basic webinar structure there. So the idea is, we put our own things in. Thank you, Mindy. But we use something similar because we're educating our audience as women leading to the future, not Stephanie or Karen or Claudia or Mindy. We're doing it as the same. So we want a little bit of loose structure where we're following a bit of a template. So we put our own things in there. I'm happy probably in the beginning of the new year. I've got the first couple of weeks in between moving house and stuff where I'm happy to jump onto a call with anyone that's struggling with that. Potentially Steph and Karen might as well, I don't know. But we need to get that done. So I'm going to touch base with whoever hasn't come into the schedule. I'll share the link back in here, and we really need at least that completed pretty quickly. Stephanie or Mindy, do you have anything to add into that?
I'm just going to add here, this is the template that I looked at Jason's presentation again. Jason did a mastermind. Jason Everett did a mastermind on webinars, which is really great. It turns out that really his model on the webinar was probably about 20 minutes out of the 2 sessions that he did, which was really good. So I just took it again and I adapted it very little to what we're doing. So I'm just going to explain it really briefly. It's on I think it's in the portal already in Drive, so everyone can have it. So you have 3 problem points. It's exactly like how many of you feel like this, how many of you feel like that? Just a statement. And then you have 3 solution points, which is also, and the benefit, it's very similar to and the benefit you will get is, or today's training, we're going to do 1, 2, 3. And then he stabilizes, gives some example of the frustration that's going on in the world. And that's just the beginning of it. There's not so much emphasis put on introducing yourself, more so put on to the topic itself. You can introduce yourself, but a very short, very, very, very short, earn the right, very, very, very short. And then what he does is he divides the hour into 3 teaching points. Because in his presentation, he didn't have a sale in it, I put here the 3rd point optional. So you can do either 10-minute segments of a teaching point or 15 minutes of 2 points, because we have the last 10 minutes is the upsell. the upsell is standard for everybody. You know, it's going to be the same thing for everybody. Right now, it's the same product, the same words, the same sale. And I made a presentation for it based on, and there's a sign-up sheet. There's a sales page for it that I shared with you guys last time. So again, the 2 or 3 teaching points, which is a half hour. And then he has something nice, which is the value check-in. Start a conversation. Who's learned something new? What's come up for you? And instead of what I would normally do in a webinar is ask questions, I like this approach better because you're really pushing on the value. Everyone's talking, it's like a sales call. You know, what did you learn? How did I help you? And here it's the same thing. You know, you talk about the value. And if you have 5 minutes of people saying what they got from it, it'll be a really good introduction to the sale of the mastermind program. So is this clear to everybody? Any questions on this? Simona? I can't hear you. You're on mute.
I don't know if any one of you saw my feedback on the WhatsApp.
Did.
But to me, the funnel is not clear. What are we selling at the webinar? Because now we have the mastermind, but for me, the mastermind is a higher ticket. And I don't see why now and not after the event. And now it would have been maybe the membership or something easy, an easy buy instead of something more difficult as we are building up. And the other thing is to find out who has been on the webinar the first time, but we don't know the names. You only know maybe you, but if you share the names, we might see if it's people belonging to our list so that we can maybe approach, have a discussion. I have no clue on who came on the webinar and who is really clicking on the webinar, because we can have these names and these are the people that are more interacting. And going back to the surveys, that are the people we want eventually to have a response from.
Okay, and so great point,
So these are a few things. And to me, I have drawn a funnel. I have a picture which is not very good. I will share with you or do it again nicer and send it over. But so that it gets an image of the funnel we have, because at the moment, it's a confusing funnel. Everything is coming from everywhere. And I think, as Jason says, as Takimo says, everybody just stick to one product first and make it work and then move to something different. Otherwise, it's confusing and we still don't have an avatar. So that's my feedback for myself.
Okay. First of all, thank you. I think is a really valid point. This came up as a progression of discussions, so it doesn't really not out of place. I think the funnel is really easy. So if I think about the funnel for this webinar, because you know everything you do has its own funnel and then a bigger funnel. We agreed at one point that we can't right now market a 2-day program. We don't have enough information. We don't have a program. We don't have a date. We don't have anything. So what happens is this funnel for the webinar is people are invited to a webinar. There needs to be an upsell. I think what's confusing here is the word mastermind. The concept that you're talking about, a mastermind, is a mastermind of a high-end product of the $20,000, $30,000. This is an entry product. It's really cheap. It's less than $1,000. It's an entry product. It's a 10-week basic pure
online course.
It's group facilitation. And it was in one of the meetings we talked about it. I don't remember if it was the last one or the one before, but it's basically just each one of us facilitate a group, and it runs on, and so it's easy. It's an entry product. And once we facilitate the group, in that group, whoever signs up for it will get so much information on what their needs are, because like in a mastermind, they have their 10, 15 minutes to talk about what their issues are, and then as a group, we help them. So it's not teaching at all. It's purely facilitation, and we can get a lot of information about what the pains are, what the people who sign up, what they need. So it's a real intimate survey of our ideal client because they've actually paid money, and it's an easy product for us to serve. I mean, there's no teaching involved in it. I mean, there's no training involved in it. It's only facilitation.
So Mindy, we did do up one, and we should probably share that with the group. We had a couple of discussions on the basic and the membership is part of that as well, Simona, because it was a basic leading to, but that was sort of continuing. So we have got some funnel mapped out, and maybe it's just we go back to that as well.
So I will draw a picture of it, because it has here, when people sign up for the webinar, they get to a thank you page of the membership site. Now, the membership site is not something we're pushing. The membership site is a digital product that has added value. And if someone goes into there, also we can see who buys into there. That's also helping us realize who our ideal client is. And what I can do, Simona, is I'll give you and anyone who wants it, you know, there is a Kartra. I bought Kartra just for this. So I'll give you the user and password for Kartra, and you can go in and see the names. We have a list of who registered for the webinar, and we have a list of, there was 9 people who went into the webinar and participated. So the names are definitely there, and if you want to do a cross comparison of if they're opening emails, or if they're active in the Facebook group, or maybe we want to offer them a call. I don't know what we would do on a call yet. I mean, that's not a product so far, any kind of strategy call. Although it is, you know, someone could go into the membership site. One of the bonus is to get a free call if they go into the membership site. So it's a product, and for us it's really great, because I think that now, if you talk about what the main product is, the main product would probably be individual coaching. So you have the webinar come in, they could go into the membership site, which offers the individual coaching. At the webinar, you go into the mastermind, and the mastermind, the upsell of the mastermind is individual coaching with one of us, you know, someone on the team. And that is, I think, until we have as a basic step into the bigger funnel of getting people to come to our programs, I think that's a necessity. So I think the funnel is I think it's a good funnel. I think it's pretty much also in a straight line, because one leads into the other thing. And at every point, there is an upsell. At every point, there's a next product to come to. So I will draw that out. Maybe Linda, you and I can work on it together, because we did a lot of talking about it.
Yeah, and sorry to add, if I can add, one of the things when you talk about the membership, and I don't want to confuse everyone with terms if you're not familiar, but it was kind of like in the webinar, in the process, it's like we have like a one-time offer, if you like, in that webinar. So it's not the official upsell. The official upsell is the master class, but it's a mastermind. But the membership was, you know, if you sign up today, you know, you get 2 months for $1. But the whole point of the membership was to create continuity of income. So then it's like $9.95 or $19.95 a month. The whole point behind that was to make it, you know, and which is one of, I think, Ryan Deese, you know, use that sort of model a lot as well. But it was like, wow, you know, I can sign up $1 a month for a couple of months. We're starting to populate the membership site, and that leads into continuity, which also indoctrination. So there was a couple of different pieces. So yeah, I think we should map that out. And there is a funnel. It's just sort of, we're still getting to let's get to the webinar started space.
Yeah. And we couldn't even start the webinar without the funnel, you know, because you can't have a webinar without an upsell. There's just it doesn't make any sense. And that's why Linda and I thought of this. If there's an idea of changing the name mastermind, maybe the word mastermind is.
I would.
Well, that was more of a higher
because
range.
it induces in a high ticket sale, and then you buy it for low. It gives a bad image also outside, I think. And that's not what you're selling really. So
let's call it something like a jumpstart program or an onboarding program.
Yeah, I think I would change it, because that's what I thought when you said mastermind. That's where I go with my mind.
Okay.
And if I am a buyer, I would buy something which is not in my expectation at the end also.
Yeah.
So I would just take if it's not a real mastermind, I would just change the name. So that
it is a real mastermind, but it's just not with the type of person that you would spend $20,000 a month to be with, you know, because they're all going to be beginners except for the facilitator, except for us.
And also,
so I would call it in a different way. It's a coaching program. It's a mentoring program. It's a
mentoring program could be nice.
Well, masterclass was what we did discuss, because it was more a group of 8 having a chat and more people getting a little bit of, you know, so that was sort of, but just
a class sounds like teaching. That was my issue with it. It's not a master class, because we won't be teaching anything.
well, we're going to give value, but that, like, there's a piece of value, there's a little piece, and then there was, we'll map it out again. But just on the costings of that, usually on a funnel or a ladder or whatever your terminology is, you might have something at free cost or, under $20 cost, $10 cost. Then you might go around the $50 mark, then you might go around the $150 mark, then you go up further. And so we just need to have things to fill in. So we have mapped that out. But yeah, I agree there, Simona. The word mastermind to me indicates a higher end, more intense product.
So fair enough. We'll call it.
We'll brainstorm. It could be a startup, or we can brainstorm different.
Jumpstart coaching. Okay, maybe parentheses. Okay, excellent. So that is, I would unscreen shared that. I'm just going to change the color of this. I know I have to change it. Also, I did want to add on the webinar part of it is that I sent out an invitation to the next webinar, which is Linda's webinar on the 18th of the month. At the time, most of you accepted, and I thank you for that. It's nice to support. I don't think it's obligatory. I don't think it's obligatory. It was really nice I can speak for me. When Annie and I did the call 2 weeks ago, the webinar, it was nice to have Stephanie online, giving us the support. For me, it was nice. I don't know that we all have to populate it because of a time issue. I wouldn't like to have nobody in the call, but I sent it out there. Whoever can jump on the call, do so, because it's good support. But again, I don't think that it's an obligatory type of thing for everybody to show up and do that. I will be on the call because it's my the webinar jam we're using right now is mine. So for sure I will be there and help out as much as I can.
And sorry, Mindy, just on that, on the template there where it's, Jason goes and asks, what value did you get? If we've got nobody there to answer questions, we need to be able to fill up. So, it could be, giving examples. So we either need, if you're on there and that's great, you can make it, maybe ask a couple of questions or something, and if not, that's fine. But
yes, Stephanie was very interactive with us. She was like a regular person. It was really helpful.
She is a regular person. She's just got a superwoman cape on the inside.
Yeah. Nice. Okay, so that is anything else on the webinar stuff? And Stephanie and I will be working on the emails. I'm still making the template. There's a template for how to do all the emails and all the preparation. It turns out that it's a lot of work. Maybe when it's done the first time, the first time it's done already, and now I'm putting it into a system, writing everything out, which is taking more time than I thought. Maybe we'll have to do it 1 or 2 times to get the system solidified, and maybe then it'll be easier. Right now I'm finding it to be very time consuming, but that's life. But it will get done. The objective is to start marketing the webinar. Yeah, okay. The objective is to start marketing the webinar, promoting it 7 days prior. And what I would ask from you guys is we are going to create posts and emails like we did with the conference. So there'll be posts and emails ready to go. Please, 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 please send them to your own tribes. You don't have to tag everybody in it, but send an email if you've got an email list. Post 2 or 3 times, and there's I'll send you the template. 2 or 3 times to your activity, to your friends on your page and your profile, to also promote it individually to bring people to the webinar, because the 600 people that we have in our list, it's a great list, but they are not so interactive yet. They're not responding in a big numbers, only in small numbers now. So we need to get in from other places. In the template, there's also a place for advertising, starting to advertise 10 days before, but we are not going to start advertising yet for this. Let's get the system up, and I hope that the membership site will start working and we'll get a little bit of income to be able to pay for that. What I'm thinking, and I'll run it by you guys for the future, is that if on the next webinar, because the system will work a little bit better, the next webinar in January, I would say that it might be an idea for all of us to advertise in our own Facebook instead of having one account for everybody put in like, I don't know, $10 a day in their own communities with our avatar, targeting our avatar in your own places. So this way we divide the cost of it. We don't need to have a kitty, and it can still be in small numbers. And that's something to start thinking about for January's webinar. And the last thing is that I would have to say is that we need, let's say when Linda finishes her webinar on the 18th, already on the 19th, we have to prepare the foundation for the next webinar. So we have to change over the landing page, new topic, new people, whatever. So we have to get that and post it already that the event is coming so people can be signing up all month. We have four newsletters that go out, and we have the group and we have the page. So we need to start leveraging them and having the event come up. So whoever is responsible for January, I think it might even be Karen. I don't remember. Whoever is responsible for January, we need already by the 18th to have the basic information to make the squeeze page. So we should already put that also out on the group. 18th message for next webinar.
So I'm just going to share the link to the webinar planner, the schedule. So if you ladies who haven't, if you can go in, pick your month, and what we're asking for is, give us an example of 3 topics. The reason we're doing that is we want to make sure that we don't get double up. So, it's just having your other options available. So I'm going to post that in our WhatsApp group now, and keep that in the chat there.
Excellent. Thank you, Linda. Any questions on the webinars? No. Okay. So let's give it up for the webinar team. Woo! Okay. Let's see. What other team do we have here? Anyone here on a team that wants to talk about what they're doing on a different team? Annie?
Just want to let you know that I sent a message to Rami about next week, and I said to him that we're on, and I sent it to him through different mediums. He has not confirmed, responded, or anything like that. So I keep chasing him. Okay. Hopefully he doesn't ignore it.
Okay, wait a second. Do we have it in the calendar?
Well,
I'm looking for it next week, you say it is?
So it's on the
no.
11th.
On the 11th.
It's on the 11th at 6 p.m. his time.
Okay, I have it in my calendar. You guys have it in your calendars?
Which is 10 p.m. like my time.
Okay.
And then at midnight, the MLE call.
I won't be able to stay on that whole call because I'm traveling on the 11th for an early start, but I'll be on for part of it.
I am busy all day. So
Can you repeat it? Can you repeat it, Annie, please?
Repeat what?
The time. 11.
Well, it's 6 p.m. Bangkok time. So that if you're in Australia, that would be I don't know what the time is now in Adelaide.
I'm sending an invitation on the calendar, so you'll see it in his time.
Are you sending one to him too?
I can send it to him also. That's a great idea.
Yes, please, because he's just not responding. So we booked it in, but he's so busy.
I don't have his email. You have his email?
Let me see.
Annie, Tyrone, okay, Stephanie, Linda, Powell.
I write it in for you, okay?
Hannah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's always one person.
Yourself?
Oh no, I'm in there. Simona.
I just sent you his email.
Okay, you sent it in the chat here?
Yeah.
Okay, copy, Control-C. Okay, so I will send that out. So we have it, everybody's calendar going on. It's very nice of him to do that. Thanks, Annie, for reaching out to him and following up.
Oh, you have no idea.
Okay, so anyone else has a team that you want to discuss? And then if you don't, then I can just give you a little bit of information that I know what's going on.
Facebook, we are just hanging on until we have the avatar. Then we will move forward.
Okay. But did everyone fill in the schedule, Simona? Do we have?
Not everybody, I think, but we have the next one, so I will check that out.
Okay. Okay, so good. Just check that. I'll make sure everyone's in and done it.
Yeah.
You know, it's important that we work as a team and everyone know what they're doing. Okay, so that's a Facebook group. So I'll tell you here, the membership site, so the Facebook group we spoke about. The membership site is up and running, and I created a PayPal account for us, a separate PayPal account just for us with my credit card information. So but it stays there and it'll be transparent. I can give you all also the user and password to go in there. That's not an issue for me. And but no one signed up for it. What we have done is when I did the webinar, my week, it was in the newsletter at the bottom. I asked Hannah to put in a PS that the membership site is open and click here. She did not do it in the second one, and last week's she did not put it in. So I sent her a reminder now. I sent her a reminder yesterday, I think, with the text for her to put it in her template that every week it should go out with the membership site. What I'll add to that also is that the webinar, the monthly webinar, and that's why it's really important that we have all the information. Also, she should start advertising the monthly webinar in every newsletter that goes out, because really that's the purpose of a newsletter, is to advertise your events. So now that we've got events, we've got things that we can put in there besides the great content that you're all producing. It should be part of the template. So that is the membership site. Also, that's the email we spoke about. The values and the code of honor. I know that I have been negligent. I haven't filled in the value sheet that Annie sent out. I don't know how other people were.
I personally didn't have any time these 2 weeks. Now it's on standby. I focused more on the avatar, which was quite urgent to go.
Okay, so I would suggest, Annie, maybe you send out a reminder to people to see who's filled in the stuff and who hasn't filled in the stuff, and maybe send out a nice reminder to do it. I know that I have not, and so I'm also been negligent in that. But we need to get it done. You know, even if it takes time, I think it's really important exercise. You guys started something really important that'll make us more cohesive and keep us on target, and we should continue to follow through with that. And I think that's I think that's it for today. What do you guys think? What do you gals think? Yeah, okay. Good. So we have the next steps are the avatar team is going to keep working. We talked about the webinar team, that we're going to support the webinar that's coming up on the 18th of the month. And just regular administration stuff on the back end. So I want to thank you all for your participation and your hard work and your commitment to this great project. So let's finish up with what you feel like saying. Who wants to start? Annie?
Good job.
Good job.
That's it. Linda, what do you feel like saying?
Great job. Love it. Thank you, girls.
Thank you. Thank you. Who's next?
Steph, what do you feel like saying?
Thanks, Linda. We're still moving.
Yeah.
Slow, but still moving.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks, Simona.
Thank you, Stephanie. Thank you, everybody. And one step at a time. That's what I feel like saying.
Thank you.
And I do not see everybody, sorry.
Claudia.
Who is next?
Claudia.
Claudia, what do you feel like saying?
I'd say keep going, okay? Keep going, keep going. This is what I feel like saying. Mindy?
Thank you, Claudia. I feel like saying teamwork. Teamwork, 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 teamwork. It's great to be on a team. And thank you all. I love you all. Have a great 2 weeks. And keep doing it. Keep moving. Bye for now.
Bye.
What's the next meeting?
Bye, ladies. Thank you.
Next meeting is in 2 weeks. And, later in the afternoon.
All right. Bye.
Ciao.
Bye. You got it, Annie?
On the 19th.
Let me see here. Oh, I'm
You know
gonna
what?
lose, I'm gonna lose my place here. Wait a second.
Yep, it's in the diary for the 19th. To be
Thank
10
you.
o'clock at night in Sydney or Melbourne.
Oh, okay. So 10 o'clock at night. Yeah, that's fine because
I know, because I'll be back there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also there's a level 2 call at 1 a.m.
Ugh. Well, so we'll be keeping you
I do
up.
not do middle of the night.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Okay. So
right.
am I hanging up now?
Yeah, and Annie, we'll 15 minutes. Give me 15 minutes. We'll get on the call
Okay.
again.
Where are you moving, Stephanie?
Penang.
Wow. Okay. Well done.
See ya.
Enjoy. Bye, Steph. Thank you.